Let's face it, life isn't always sunshine and rainbows. We often find ourselves caught in the middle of a storm, feeling the weight of the world pressing down on us. It's easy to get lost in the chaos and forget that these moments are just as much a part of life as the sunny days. In fact, sometimes it's more like thunderstorms and hailstorms, where everything seems to go wrong all at once. The sky darkens, the wind howls, and you can't help but feel overwhelmed by the sheer force of it all, especially when your toast burns in the morning, setting the tone for a day that feels like it's spiraling out of control. It's those little things that can really get under your skin and make you question everything. You spill coffee on your favorite shirt, and suddenly, you're scrambling to find something else to wear, already running late for work. It's a domino effect of mishaps that can leave you feeling frazzled and defeated before the day has even begun. And your boss dumps a mountain of work on your desk before you've even had your second cup of coffee. The stress piles up, and you start to wonder if you'll ever catch a break. It's in these moments that the pressure to be happy can feel like an impossible burden. The self-help industry wants you to believe that happiness is a constant state of bliss you can achieve by thinking positive thoughts and chanting affirmations in front of the mirror every morning. They sell you the idea that if you're not happy all the time, you're doing something wrong. But here's the thing, that's bullshit. Life isn't meant to be a never-ending parade of joy and contentment. It's unrealistic to expect that you'll never face challenges or experience negative emotions. Trying to be happy all the time is like trying to outrun a cheetah. It's a race you can't win. The faster you run, the more exhausted you become, and the more likely you are to stumble and fall. You're setting yourself up for failure, and a good chance of getting mauled in the process. Instead of chasing an unattainable ideal, it's better to accept that life is a mix of highs and lows. Life is full of ups and downs, good days and bad days, moments of joy and moments of despair. It's a roller coaster ride with unexpected twists and turns, and that's what makes it so interesting. And guess what? That's perfectly normal. It's okay to feel sad, angry, or frustrated. These emotions are a natural part of the human experience, and they help us appreciate the good times even more. It's what makes us human. Our ability to feel a wide range of emotions is what connects us to one another and to the world around us. It's what gives our lives depth and meaning. Embrace the chaos, my friend. Accept the unpredictability of life and find beauty in the messiness. It's in the chaos that we often find our greatest moments of growth and self-discovery. It's what makes the ride interesting. So stop trying to be happy all the time and start embracing the full spectrum of human emotions. After all, it's the ups and downs that make life truly worth living. Here's a hard truth. You have a limited supply of FES to give. Imagine your energy and attention as a finite resource, like a battery that drains over time. Every time you stress about something, every time you invest your emotions into a situation, you're using up a bit of that battery. And just like any battery, once it's drained, it needs time to recharge. But what happens when you don't give yourself that time? You burn out. You can't care about everything and everyone all the time. You'd go insane trying. Think about it. If you tried to respond to every email, attend every meeting, and solve every problem, you'd be stretched so thin that you'd be ineffective at everything. It's simply not sustainable. Your mental and emotional well-being would take a hit, and you'd find yourself constantly exhausted and overwhelmed. It's like trying to juggle chainsaws while riding a unicycle on a tightrope. Eventually, something's gotta give, and it's probably going to be your sanity. So what's the solution? How do you navigate this chaotic circus act without losing your mind? The answer lies in understanding your limits and setting boundaries. You need to prioritize. Start by identifying the things that are truly important to you. What are the tasks, relationships, and goals that genuinely matter? Write them down, make a list, and keep it somewhere visible. This will serve as a constant reminder of where your focus should be. Figure out what truly matters to you, what gets you fired up, what makes your soul sing, even if it's off-key. These are the things that deserve your attention and energy. When you invest in what you love, you not only feel more fulfilled, but you also become more effective and productive in those areas. Those are the things you should be giving your fucks to. When you focus on what truly matters, you create a positive feedback loop. Your passion and dedication lead to better results, which in turn fuel your motivation and happiness. Everything else? Let it slide. It's okay to say no to things that don't align with your priorities. It's okay to let go of tasks and commitments that drain your energy without providing any real value. By doing so, you free up space for what truly matters. Don't waste your precious fucks on things that don't bring you joy, fulfillment, or a sense of purpose. Life is too short to be bogged down by trivial matters. Focus on what brings you happiness and satisfaction. The world is full of things to stress about. Choose your battles wisely. Not every problem is yours to solve, and not every issue deserves your attention. Be selective about where you invest your emotional and mental energy, because when you're strategic with your fucks, you'll have more energy to invest in the things that really matter. You'll find yourself more focused, more productive, and ultimately more content. So guard your fucks wisely, and spend them where they count the most. Society tells us we need to be extraordinary, that we need to stand out from the crowd, that we need to be the next big thing since sliced bread, which, let's be honest, was a pretty revolutionary invention. But here's the thing, not everyone is destined for greatness. And that's okay. In fact, it's more than okay, it's liberating. Embracing our ordinariness, our imperfections, our quirks, that's what makes us interesting. It's what makes us human. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable, to show your true colors even if they clash with the latest fashion trends. Because when you stop trying so hard to be someone you're not, you'll finally be free to be your awesome, messy, perfectly imperfect self. Remember when you were a kid, and your biggest problem was deciding whether to have peanut butter and jelly or grilled cheese for lunch? Yeah, those were the good old days. As adults, our problems tend to be a bit more complex. We've got bills to pay, relationships to maintain, careers to build, and existential crises to navigate. It's enough to make you want to crawl back into bed and pull the covers over your head. But here's the thing. Problems are inevitable. They're part of life. The key is to choose your problems wisely. Instead of focusing on things you can't control, like the weather, the economy, or your weird neighbor's obsession with garden gnomes, focus on the things you can. Section 5. Finding meaning in the struggle. Life is a journey, not a destination. And just like any good road trip, it's going to be full of detours, potholes, and the occasional flat tire. But it's in those moments of struggle, those times when we're forced to confront our fears and push ourselves beyond our comfort zones, that we truly grow. It's like that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Although, let's be real, sometimes it just leaves you feeling a little bruised and battered. Embrace the challenges, my friend. They're what make the journey worthwhile, because it's on the other side of adversity that we find strength, resilience, and a deep sense of accomplishment. Section 6. You are not in control, and that's okay. Here's a hard pill to swallow. You're not in control of everything. It's a tough realization, but it's also incredibly liberating. We often spend so much time and energy trying to manage every aspect of our lives, believing that if we just try hard enough, we can make everything go our way. In fact, you're in control of very little. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how much we plan or prepare, there will always be elements beyond our grasp. It's like being a small boat in a vast ocean, subject to the whims of the waves and the weather. You can't control the weather, the traffic, or the unexpected events that life throws your way. These are forces of nature, and they operate independently of our desires. You can't control whether or not your favorite team wins the big game. Sports, like life, are full of uncertainties and surprises. The outcome is never guaranteed, no matter how much you hope or cheer. You can't control what other people think, say, or do. Everyone has their own perspectives, motivations, and actions that are beyond your influence. And trying to change others is often a futile effort. People will be who they are, and their actions are a reflection of their own experiences and choices. And you know what? That's okay. Accepting this truth can be incredibly freeing. It allows you to let go of the impossible task of controlling everything and everyone around you. Trying to control everything is like trying to herd cats. It's an exercise in futility and frustration. The more you try to impose order, the more chaos seems to ensue. It's an exercise in futility and frustration. The constant struggle to manage the unmanageable can leave you feeling exhausted and defeated. So what can you control? Your own thoughts, feelings, and actions. That's it. That's your domain. By focusing on your internal world, you can cultivate a sense of peace and stability. Your thoughts, feelings, and actions. That's it. That's your domain. When you concentrate on what you can control, you empower yourself to make meaningful changes in your life. Focus on what you can control and let go of the rest. This shift in perspective can transform your approach to life's challenges. And let go of the rest. Release the need to control the uncontrollable, and you'll find a new sense of freedom and relief. Because when you surrender to the uncertainty of life, you open yourself up to new possibilities and experiences. Embracing the unknown can lead to unexpected joys and opportunities. You'll find a sense of peace you never thought possible. By accepting the limits of your control, you can live more fully in the present moment and appreciate the beauty of life's unpredictability. Section 7. Failure is the path to success. No, seriously. Society tells us that failure is something to be ashamed of, something to be avoided at all costs. But here's the thing. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone on the path to success. Think of it like this. Every time you fail, you learn something. You learn what works and what doesn't. You learn from your mistakes and become a little bit wiser. It's like that saying, experience is the best teacher, but sometimes the tuition is a bitch. So don't be afraid to fail. Embrace it, learn from it, and then get back up and try again. Because the only way to truly fail is to give up. Section 8. The importance of saying no. In a world that tells us to say yes to every opportunity, it can be hard to know when to pump the brakes and say no. But here's the thing. Your time and energy are precious resources. Don't waste them on things that don't align with your values, your goals, or your overall well-being. Saying no isn't selfish, it's self-preservation. It's about setting boundaries and protecting your mental, emotional, and physical health. So the next time someone asks you to do something you don't really want to do, remember this. No is a complete sentence. You don't need to justify, apologize, or provide a detailed explanation. Just say no, and move on with your life. Section 9. Find meaning in the mundane. We live in a culture obsessed with the extraordinary, the Instagram-worthy, the once-in-a-lifetime experiences. But here's the thing. Life isn't always about grand adventures and bucket list moments. In fact, most of life is pretty ordinary, and that's okay. Because it's in those ordinary moments, those seemingly insignificant interactions and experiences, that we often find the most meaning. A shared laugh with a friend, a warm hug from a loved one, a quiet moment spent in nature. These are the things that make life worth living.